Hey, welcome back. This is WindWay, my Mexican style island. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. WindWay is divided into two different sections. Let's take a look at the beach town area. This is a very lively and tropical place. Villagers love to visit the local shops, as well as swimming in the peaceful ocean. In this section, we can find most villager houses, Nook's Cranny, Able Sisters, the museum, resident services, our local cafe, the marketplace, as well as a very popular WindWay resort. In the other hand, we have the Enchanted Forest District. It's well known that there's lots of hidden secrets within the magical forest. Some residents say that they have spotted creatures such as fairies and gnomes wandering around this very mysterious place. In this section, we can find the campsite, some cottages, the hidden temple, the sacred flower garden, as well as lots of mystical places. Let's begin by telling the backstory of WindWay. At the beginning, my island was basically filled with white hyacinths and some pretty simple neighborhoods. I didn't really like it. It looked a bit plain, and I really wanted to start over, but I was a bit scared thinking about messing everything up. At the end, I took all of the courage in the world and I started over. The whole process took me 3 entire days. But thanks to that decision, WindWay is now an island that I absolutely love. Taking the first step might be difficult, but overcoming yourself and seeking for improvement is always amazing. Remember, you're absolutely worthy of having the island of your dreams. Let's talk about my main inspiration for building WindWay. When I build something, I don't really like to take ideas from other people because then it doesn't really feel like a creation of my own. I actually searched for a lot of Mexican beach town images on Google, but none of them were really something that I was looking for. So at the end, both my Mexican beach town and the Enchanted Forest District were completely built from my imagination. Finally, we'll talk about some tips on how you can improve your island. And remember, all of these are completely optional. Use the ones that resonate the most with you, because some of these might not work in every island style. Avoid placing similar items together. What do I mean by this, you may be wondering? Well, for example, by placing 2 identical flowers next to each other in a vertical or horizontal position may cause the illusion of monotony. Instead, try placing them diagonally. This will essentially eliminate the effect. You can also apply this technique to other items that you're working with. If you want to improve the looks of it even further, add things such as bushes, trees, or maybe even some sculptures. This specific tip might not work in some occasions, so just start playing around and honestly, choose the style that fits the best into your island. Don't be afraid of asymmetry. A lot of people like to make perfectly symmetrical islands, but sometimes asymmetry might make your island look a lot more fresh and overall better. One common technique that I see in most islands is making straight rivers or square cliffs. This is something that you might want to avoid, especially if you're leading more towards a natural looking island. If you're wondering how to make naturally looking cliffs, waterfalls, or even rivers, you can also check out my complete landscaping guide for your island, which I will link in the top right corner of your screen. It's also important to know that making everything too asymmetrical might make your island look a bit messy, so usually the best thing is to find balance between both. For example, my Mexican beach town uses both the element of symmetry as well as asymmetry. Here's how I did it. All of the paths are perfectly straight, with a minimum 2x2 length in each side, so you can clearly tell that they were man-made, therefore symmetrical. But on the other hand, all of the environment surrounding the paths is totally overgrown. There's trees everywhere, flowers, bushes, and even some items scattered around, without following any apparent structure or pattern, therefore making them asymmetrical. Giving your island depth. I would consider this to be the most important tip out of them all, due to the fact that it works on basically every single island. Giving depth is one of the greatest ways to improve the looks of any area, and it works both with natural and urban islands alike. There's two ways to give the illusion of depth. The first one is by using terraforming. Choose an area that you're working on, and start by playing around with the terraforming tool. Try to experiment and come up with creative ideas. I use this technique throughout my whole island, but I would like to show you two specific places where this technique looks the best. In the first clip, I'm in Apple's house, and by placing a wall in front of her house, as well as one directly next to it, and decorating both of them with flowers, trees, and even some pots, the area looks a lot better. Another great example would be the specific location. By placing cliffs in the background, surrounded by a river, and lots of plants everywhere, this area might look ginormous, even though it only uses 1 acre of land. The second way to give depth is by placing items that are taller than the player. Some perfect examples would be street lamps, clocks, lighthouses, trees, and basically any building in the game. These can be seen from afar, therefore creating the effect of fullness and depth. And that's it for the tips. Feel free to send me your pictures in our Discord server. I would love to see what amazing ideas you guys come up with. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. Namaste.